Chris,
well, listen, Mark, listen, hold on. When I say, would you have caffeine today?
What the hell is that up to?
How much coffee did you drink before the show?
Listen, you can't polish a sneaker, right? throw tomatoes at me, do whatever you're going to do.
It's Corso and Catone.
Welcome into Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. And I'm Chris Corso. Sitting right over there is, now he is, there you are, Mark.
There we are.
Over there is Mark Catone, and we are presented by the Pats Nation, the only Patriots postgame show worth watching, the real Patriots postgame show, and that's going to be 30 minutes following every Patriots game. Listen, if you want to see us, go ahead and get on YouTube, type in Corso and Catone, and all of our shows will pop up. And as always, give us that thumbs up and subscribe. But if you, like a lot of people, feel that Mark and I only have faces for radio and you want to listen to us, then go ahead and get on iTunes.
That's a fact.
That's what it is, you know?
Yeah.
But they can find us on iTunes, Mark, the iHeartRadio app, and Podbean. Again, just type in Corso Catone, the Pats Nation, whichever. And all of our shows will pop up for your viewing and listening pleasure. Hey, Mark, listen, check us out on Twitter. I know you're a big Twitter guy, so check us out on Twitter at Corso_Catone, at Corso_Catone. And listen, Mark, I think it's like the second most popular thing. The second. We all know what the first one is.
Of course we do.
Heated Hotline.
Listen, just for our viewers today, Joe was a little tied up, so Chris is doing it all today. So if we have any glitches, let's not blame Joe. Let's blame Chris.
I'm helping Joe out. I'll explain why in a second. But, we're all pitching in for Joe today. It's a crossover. We'll talk about that. But Heated Hotline, make sure you give us a call, 855-313-PATS, 24/7. Leave us a message. Joe's going to pick the one he likes, put it up on the show, and Mark and I will discuss it. So that one he chooses may be yours, 855-313-7287. It's our crossover show, Mark. Listen, along with Heated Hotline, we're going to be welcoming in the Pats Nation, the only Patriots postgame show, the real Patriots postgame show. Going to be welcoming in with all of our segments from that. We're going to have Mac-Mania, Sunday Stiff, and we're going to talk a little bit about where the Patriots are now, where they're headed to. So you definitely don't want to miss that, Pats Nation. And because, hey, Mark, the Patriots kicked off NFL week 11 by going down to Atlanta, taking on the Falcons. So we have to have all your breakdown on that. So, Mark, how do you and for you Corso and Catone fans, fear not, we will have Catone's comments later on in the show. So make sure you stick around to that. Mark, how do you feel about all this today?
It's tough to keep track, Chris. We have so much going on today. You better not get confused with those buttons.
I'm confused because, listen, we're helping Joe out because, as we said, it's a crossover show. So you're not going to hear much from Joe today because he's in the back running the ship. Look, you think it's just Mark and I, but there are people that help produce this thing, both shows, Corso Catone, the Pats Nation. So Joe's got to control all that and make sure guys like Sean, the intern, doesn't screw anything up today. So I'm going to try to help Joe out as much as I can. But, Mark, listen, you want to get
let's get the Heated Hotline, Chris.
You want to get going with some Heated Hotline?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Hotline. Hey, guys. It's Al from North Providence. I'm just calling in to say I'm sick and tired of these radio stations bashing who were bashing Belichick last year, now calling him a genius. They can't make up their minds. So the question I'm asking you guys is, how far do you guys think the Patriots can go in the playoffs this year?
Well, Mark, there are two parts to that. Yeah, with that, Al, thank you. And Mark, North Providence, our stomping grounds,
There we go.
It's a stomping where I can't, that's another show, right?
Hey,
there.
That's like a 3-part series. Forget a show.
Stuff that we, but listen, he picks up two good points. But let's talk about the Belichick point, and later on in the show, when we get into where they are now, we'll talk about Al's second part. But Mark, as far as the, what do you make of that with Belichick? Because I know we've been on him too.
Well, listen, Chris. I think we've been on him, Chris, because he's made some questionable decisions as a GM, right? I think for the most part, we've thought he's done a good job coaching, obviously, but the GM part he's really struggled with. And I think he caught some criticism last year, even with his coaching. But he had a good offseason, Chris, with free agency, had a good draft. And listen, did Mac Jones fall in his lap? Well, yeah, he did, but he took him and he had the guts to cut Newton and roll with the kid.
Yeah, it take a lot of guts, though, cutting that guy.
No, but I think, Chris, to the point that you brought up, though, in August, you thought that they would wait a little bit before they threw Jones out there because, he's never really broke down NFL film, this and that. And Belichick released Newton and went with the kid. So, yeah, I think the call is right, Chris. He got a lot of flack for going into the season. Now, all of a sudden, guys on the flagship are saying, oh, this team's on, they're singing their praises again. Get it right.
Yeah, I get it. That's the part, the hypocrisy. I mean, the flip-flopping. That's the crap that you don't like. And we've said it all along. Look, Bill, the GM, he's had bad drafts. That doesn't change, Mark. The past, you and I talked the other night about this, Mark was very talkative at like 2 a.m. the other night,
It was after the game, man.
Mark, by the way, I like your background.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm in a different location today. Yeah, Chris, I'm in another location today.
So now we know he's not in a hotel, unless they let you put all that stuff up in the background. But no, listen, you can't deny that 4 drafts, Andrews, Metcalf, Deebo Samuel. These are the guys, they should have been looking at Isaiah Wynn, all that crap. So, yeah, when you go back and look at 3-4 years ago, it completely mismanaged, butchered to me the draft. And Mark's a huge draft guy. He does a lot of homework and knows his stuff. And he had guys like Andrew, Samuel, Metcalf, A.J. Brown, guys on the board like that. And the linebacker, I never remember his name, but the one that went over to Indianapolis. So he deserves some slapping around. But he deserves some credit, as Mark said, in this one. So listen,
these free agents, Chris, that he went out and got are now producing. I mean, I'm still not a fan of Aguilar's, but and definitely not Jonnu Smith. But the free agents he brought in, Chris, for the most part, they're producing. Mills, Bourne,
and Mills is the guy Mills is the guy that we talked about. He's kind of one of those guys that nobody pays attention to as a free agent pickup. But you know what? That guy's playing well. It's making you start to say, well, it was okay not paying Gilmore the $7 million. We're sturdying up because how good Jackson's playing. But guys like, you're right. I mean, Matt Judon is a home run. Yeah. Henry, to me, is a home. Those are 2 Henry and Judon are probably Pro Bowlers this year.
They should be.
If he continues to lead the league in touchdown receptions, then he is. So, yeah, listen, Al brings up a good point about how,
and I'm assuming Al is a supporter based on his comment, Chris, of Belichick.
Well, he's an intelligent guy, clearly. He sees the hypocrisy. He sees the nonsense going on out there saying, well, Belichick's perfect. Belichick's not. Nationally, Mark, but nationally, I think he's getting a little too much love, Belichick is.
Yeah, he is. He is. And I'm going to tell you something, Chris. I think part of that also is people are so sick of the goddamn man in Tampa that they want to give Belichick some love because I think they'd love to see Belichick win something. So they can kind of say, okay, enough now with Brady. You know what I mean? Because I think nationally people have had enough of Brady.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, again, and they had to give love the other night in the Atlanta game because, there wasn't much else to talk about in that one. So I agree with that now. Thank you for the call. But Mark, coming back now, we're going to have our crossover now. We want to get into the Pats Nation. We want to talk about that Atlanta game on the Patriots. And let's just get into that right now. Get it, Mark? Here we go.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Are you ready for the Pats Nation? The only real deal Patriots postgame show. And now, Corso Catone.
And welcome to the Pats Nation, the real Patriots postgame show, the only one worth watching. Week 11 kicked off on Thursday night, as we said, with the Patriots traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons, and they beat them. They beat them up, which we thought they would do, 25-0. The nothing, Mark, is something we're going to talk about
that's something.
a lot.
That's
okay?
something.
So and listen, we're going to have all of our favorite stuff, Mac-Mania, Sunday Stiff, and we're going to break down where they are now. But Mark, your impressions of this game on Thursday?
Chris, it was short week. It was a short week, and a couple of the players even brought up the fact that first time they've had a short week all year, and first time the rookie quarterback has had a short week preparation-wise, Chris. They went in, defense did their thing, they took care of business, and teams that make runs, Chris, this time of the year, go in, take care of business, get out of there, no injuries, no nothing, and roll forward. And they did, Chris, what good teams this time of the year are supposed to do.
Yeah, they took care of business. And, on the short week, and that's the thing you got to keep saying. It was the short week. Now, it's the same for both. It's the same for both, but you got to tip the cap. You're always going to like the Belichick factor in that.
Of course.
Getting them ready for that. So we'll talk a lot more about that and how Mac Jones was prepared. And let's get into Mac-Mania then. (22 of 26, 207 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Mark, break that down.
Well, Chris, I think he, again, had an efficient game. I mean, yes, the pick, it was a bad throw, right? I mean, you could say Jonnu Smith could have made a better play for the ball, but it was a bad throw. It was a bad read, right? He threw the ball away, probably shouldn't have thrown it, and that's going to happen, right? But for the most part, Chris, listen, 22 for 26, throws a touchdown, makes some good throws in that game again, controls the game, doesn't make any mistakes, doesn't put you in bad situations, and is doing what, McDaniels is asking them to do. And I'm going to be honest with you, Chris, and I brought this up to you the night of the game, that I thought maybe because it was a short preparation week, that McDaniels kind of dialed it back a little bit and became a little more conservative Thursday night because of the short week. So I think Jones reverted back to some of the stuff he had done earlier in the year, not as wide open as some of the throws they were making against the Browns. It didn't seem like they were in the playbook this week. And I think you and I said part of that probably was the short week. Let's get him in there, no mistakes, and let's get out of here with a win. And that's what they did. And Jones admitted, Chris, we got to play better. I can play better. He admitted that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, look, he didn't have in his percentage, Mark. Look, his second incompletion happened in the third quarter with something like 10 minutes into the game. Yeah. Mark, his second incompletion.
That's unbelievable.
Now you look at his completion percentage. I mean, that's those are the things I see. Those are the things I pay attention to. 22 of 26, he misses 4 of them, and one of them, I think one of them was a throwaway too.
Might have been. Yeah, might have been.
I think one of them was a throwaway, and the other one may have been a drop or something like that. So the point is, 2 out of those 4, I think were just a routine. You want to do that. So, or threw it at the feet of a screen, something like that, where you want to do that. So, I mean, his percentage was fantastic, in my opinion. Everybody focuses on the pick, and that's a bad throw. It was. It was a bad throw.
No question about it.
I thought Smith. I mean, maybe it's me just being an apologist, but I felt like Smith could have done a little bit more to help break that up.
Chris Smith is such a disappointment. $50 million. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? What did he catch? One ball again?
Right. Mark, 9 different receivers.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
He just keeps. It isn't like
this
2
is
or 3
a weekly.
receivers.
This is
9.
a weekly thing with him, Chris.
Yeah. If he doesn't throw to at least 7, you wonder what happened.
Yeah.
We've seen this. We've seen this act before.
Chris, this is the recipe for what they've done. Yes, like you said, we've seen this act before. And Chris, well, I'm not going to get into that yet. We'll get into that in another segment. But no, you're right.
Yeah. So, Mark, the only question I have for you on Mac Jones. Well, I wanted to ask you what you made of that 4th and 1 real quick. Towards the end when it became 4th down and he looked like he was confused. We had the timeout, didn't call it. And he looked pissed off. He looked angry. Was he angry at himself? Was he pissed?
I think he was probably angry at himself, Chris. And I think, is that the one where the
clock got down?
The clock, yeah. I think he was angry at himself, Chris, because he said it after the game. I need to play. I need to play better. Like, I think he was pissed at himself. I don't
that
think
wasn't
that
was before the half. Wasn't that before the half?
I think it was before that. I don't think it was a coaching thing. I think it was he got a little confused or thought they were doing something else, and so that was on him, I think. And you could tell, Chris, because after the game, I don't think he was. Even though, listen, he went 22 for 26, but I don't think he was happy with his performance, Chris.
No, and
what does that tell you? What does that tell you about this kid, Chris?
Yeah, it tells you that he's the perfection, the pursuit of perfection. That's what it tells you about this guy. So I mean, so
look around the league, and I know these other rookie quarterbacks are playing with some bad teams, Chris. But look at his attitude and what he's trying to do compared to these other guys.
Hey, look, coming into the season, we did a lot of free agency, a ton of money spent, but nobody was sitting there going, hey, Mac Jones has got all the weapons in the world now. He's got an outside guy. He's got this. Again, they're all hypocrites. He has what he has, and he's doing what he's doing, and it's better than any other rookie out there. And what's he, number 5 in percentage or something like that in the league? Yeah. So, I mean, depending on his touchdowns to interceptions, there's a lot of guys that have been around a long time. They're not. So, but Mark, if they fall behind against a good team,
well, that's the issue.
Can he bring them back?
Well, that's what people are saying. Can he bring them back? Yes. Do they have the weapons to come back? I think is the bigger question, Chris.
Yeah. So you put it more on the personnel.
I put it on the personnel, Chris, because I watched the kid in college, and I told you this leading into the draft. Can he bring them back? Absolutely. I don't know. I put it on personnel. They may struggle if they have to come from behind from a 10, 14 point deficit in a big game.
Well, listen, moving on to the rest of the offense, and we do that quick because the offense wasn't real sexy that day. I mean, they ran the ball.
Chris, they still ran the ball.
134 yards, Mark, off 30 carries. Good
that's
percentage.
Their recipe, Chris, to winning.
It is. And so, again, I mean, I thought the offensive line played well, but one. Okay.
Gee, I wonder who that was.
We'll get to that in a minute, but the offensive line as a whole played well. The running backs, again, Stevenson, you could see why I think he may end up surpassing Harris.
He may. But, Chris, there's still a great 1-2 punch.
They may be the best 1-2 punch in the league. And I can't think of another team that has two backs.
And, Chris, I'm going to tell you something. In a playoff game, cold weather, snow, rain, whatever.
What you need.
Right? And they're going to wear some team out in the second half and just pound you and pound you and pound you. So let's see.
Yeah. So,
and your guy Bolden, Chris, is still had another decent game.
He did. He screwed up to me on one blitz pickup. That blitz that came.
Did you go back and watch that play? I know you wanted to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I watched it, and Bolden came up to take the first threat or one threat coming through, but what he didn't understand is the immediate threat was that safety coming. Now, maybe some of that was on Jones.
I was going to say, was that on Jones?
Maybe, but he's going to get the ball out a lot quicker then if you're going to do that. But Bolden should shuffle over and give him a little shove, something, to take him off his mark. Yeah, the offensive line played well, but Mark, what side did they run to?
You're asking.
They run.
Of course, they go to the right side. They ain't going to that stiff on the left.
They go to Mason. They go to Brown. Andrews kicks in over there every time. The only time they go to the left and with success is any time ending on the outside.
Chris, it's amazing.
Your buddy Harry barking down.
You had to bring Harry in. I had to bring him in. Chris, listen.
He was blocking well.
He does. It's amazing to me, Chris, that we've okay, let me bring it up. We brought this up again tonight in the game. Why isn't Onwenu in there?
I don't know.
Why is Wynn still starting?
He was in there for some of the unbalanced packages where they have that. I agree. What Isaiah Wynn, I'm going to get to that in our next segment. What he did in one play, I'll break that down.
Because I think you're convinced, Chris, it's the embarrassment of getting rid of another first round pick and putting him on the bench because they already got rid of Michelle.
I hope not, because at least 1 or 2 plays a game, he's got a penalty or he's getting his quarterback killed. On that side.
It's amazing.
And I'm not sure how can Wynn do worse than that.
It's amazing that he hasn't gotten Jones hurt.
It is. And one of these days, something like that's going to happen.
Chris, again, the other night, the feet. How can you play left tackle, Chris? And you don't have the footwork to play over there.
That's why. Because he's not. He's not a tackle. He's a friggin' guard. He's a guard. That's why. He's not a tackle, period. And I'm wondering what he'd be like if you kicked him over to the guard, took Karras out, put him in, and put Winu over at tackle. But see, they're going well. So I can see why they don't want to mix it up. They don't want to kick, break, you know what I mean? It's not broken kind of thing.
I get it.
So, and as far as the receivers go, Mark, they were steady. I mean, Aguilar got involved.
Aguilar had
attempts.
A little better game, Chris. Yeah.
Yep, 5 attempts, 5 catches. Bourne, same thing, perfect, 4 and 4.
Bourne,
Myers,
Chris,
4 and 6.
Bourne has a gear in him. If you can get him in space, he's got a gear.
Yeah, he does, and so does an Aguilar, as we know.
Aguilar, yeah, he does, but Aguilar runs different types of patterns than Bourne does, right? And then of course your buddy Jonnu Smith had a big game.
He did. I mean, he played well. I mean, listen, you gotta. I mean, for what they were doing, he played well. But again, offensively, it wasn't such a what needed to happen. They did just what they needed to do, and on a short week, Mark, I thought Jones and company. They trimmed it down, like you said.
Yep, they did. I think they did. And Chris, the benefit of that, though, now I know it was you got in there, you got out of there with a win. Now you got 10 days to prepare for the Titans at home.
Right.
It's a big game, and now you got 10 days to let Jones study film and get him ready.
Because it's going to take a bigger effort out of the offense.
Oh, it absolutely is. Positively.
But I thought they played well. I thought the offense played well. They did what they needed to do. They did what was given to them. They took what was given to them. And, like I said, the receivers played well. And again, Mac Jones' touch on the ball. I mean, you can see him. He can get the ball in there, fire it in, like Marino in, but he can also give that nice touch.
Chris, on one play, he to Henry ran the wrong route, I think, on one of the incompletions.
Yeah, he did. He needed to go to the back corner of the end zone.
The back corner, and Jones put the ball, Chris, where it was supposed to be.
That flag route.
The flag route, whatever, right? Yeah, and Henry cuts it in, which he wasn't supposed to. And Jones is a rookie.
Yep.
Gave him a look. Like, what did you, like, that's not the route.
Yeah, because.
Gave him the look.
And you could tell on the telecast that it was because the coverage was underneath. You could see that right from the outset. The coverage was sitting underneath. They anticipated that type of coverage, so you knew that flag pass, that corner to the pylon was there, and he put it in the spot it needed to be if Henry was there.
So my point, Chris, is he's getting a better grasp of what's going on around him and understanding what's what and what should be run, cut off. So he was expecting Henry to be there, and he wasn't.
Yeah.
So that was encouraging because Henry's a veteran, and Jones gives him a look like, "Hey, you're going to be there."
Yeah. It's from the head up. From the head up, he's got it. I mean, he's got it. A little bit of the play calling, a little bit of the red zone play calling. We need to a lot of field goals, Mark. A lot of field goals in this game. They got to clean that up, and they could clean the damn penalties up. They got to clean the penalties up on offense. They drive killers. That Stevenson run was probably his best run of the season. Called back. And the holding really mattered on that because you could see without Andrews holding him, he was getting through.
I still question in some cases the personnel groups that he throws out there because on the first drive of the game, I know it ended at like the 48 of Atlanta or something and they had the punt, but you had Bolden on the field on a third down, but you're running a play with him, Chris, that's more suited for Harris or Stevenson. Like Bolden shouldn't be running that play. It was a running play. They ended up calling a running play, and I don't know. It was just you had the wrong personnel on the field, Chris, if that's what you were going to do.
I agree.
And I still question in some cases, Chris, the personnel groups that are on the field and some of the play calling McDaniels is coming up with. I don't know.
Well, look, again, I think the offense did enough what they needed to do, but Mark, kicking it to the other side of the ball.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
yeah.
My God. This is a top 10 defense for sure.
So, Chris, yeah, I was just going to say that. You said they had the potential, and this was when you thought Gilmore was going to be back. This team has the potential to be a top 5 defense in the league. Well, Jesus, if Jackson keeps developing and Mills keeps playing well, Chris, they still might have a shot to be a top 5 defense.
Yeah, they do. And they did what real good defenses do. They came into this place. The team was not even close. Okay, not even close to what they are. And they slapped them around. They took care of business, and that's what you're looking for from your defense. And Mark, they had I'm looking at it now. I'm looking for it. They had 4 or 5 sacks. Okay, 5 sacks, 4 turnovers, and they were all picks.
But Chris, not only did they have 5 sacks, they had a bunch of hits on the quarterback, and they knocked him off. They knocked him off their spot on several occasions. Even though they may not have gotten the sack, they were pretty.
They had 23 quarterback pressures, 23 quarterback hits, I think.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you something, Chris. This defense is starting to remind me of that defense that got on a roll. And the one that beat the Rams in the Super Bowl, they got on the roll, and even that game they won in Kansas City. Listen, they shut them down pretty much for the whole first half, and then Mahomes got hot in the second half. But if that game was at Foxborough, Chris, that defense would have shut them down that entire game.
They know they have the formula for that, and what I love that they're doing, they're just mixing up. They're mixing zero look, dropping guys. They're mixing up their coverages really, really well, which means the guys in the secondary have got to understand it, which they do.
Well, you brought that up, Chris, on one of the drives. You're like, okay, it looks like they're rushing 3 or 4, but they're really not. And you're like, they're really mixing it up.
They never really brought, it's funny because when you look at it, they had 5 sacks, but they never really brought heat. They never really brought blitzes. They did it with 4-man rushes, just with disguises. Yeah. There were times that Hightower was downfield covering. Down in that high hole over the cover 2 where he's in the center, and he's downfield, and they're bringing corners, they're bringing safeties, but really only 4, Mark.
It did appear to be more, right, Chris? It did appear that they were doing more. Like,
it looks that pressure. Way. I mean, you got for the Falcons, Matt Ryan was 19 of 20 and 153 yards, 2 interceptions.
And listen, Ryan is a veteran.
Josh Rosen, Phillip Franks. I mean, they threw.
So it's
I don't know. All the quarterbacks played, and all of them threw an interception.
But Chris, it's not like you were playing against a young guy that you were confusing. You were playing against a veteran, and he struggled.
And it's getting to the point where you can't run the ball against this team.
Godchild, Chris, really is playing well right now.
And Barmore, Pro Bowler.
Barmore's playing like a Pro Bowler. Yeah,
it's unbelievable. He's
playing like a Pro Bowler.
You allow 40 yards. You allow under 200 yards of offense, total offense, something like that, 200 and change, and 40 yards rushing. That's pretty damn good. Now again, Falcons are missing, but you did what you were supposed to do. You put your foot on the throat and you didn't let it off.
Yeah, Falcons
until they
are missing,
friggin' were done.
Falcons
That's what
are missing guys.
Do.
But you're right, Chris. They did what they were supposed to do. They put their foot in their throat, they put on the gas, and they rolled over them. And that's what
Judon is just.
He's like a player of the year candidate. Right?
He allows so much to happen. Yeah, he allows so much to happen with the other guys, is what you got to see. He frees up other things for guys to do. Van Noy has the kind of game he had with 2 sacks, pick 6, because I think of what the attention Judon gets on double teams. It allows other guys to come free. Van Noy's going to do a little better with sealing that edge, but otherwise, they played good. So again, I mean, are they a top? We'll talk about it where they are now, but are they a top 5 to 7? Yeah, I think so. And
Chris, I think they are. Well, we're going to see. Yeah, I think. Listen, I'm dying to see what they do against Tannehill.
I know. I know, because I don't think much of Tannehill. You know that.
But don't get me wrong. But Tannehill does have some receivers, so we'll see.
Yeah. So listen, I thought all in all they played well. Mark, getting into
Folk had another good game for special teams wise, Chris.
He did. But I will say this: they're thin. If they lose somebody in the secondary, like Mills went out, and my favorite guy came in.
No, they're thin.
And they out then. I think Williams stinks.
Chris, and Mills, Chris, seems a little fragile. He falls, he gets dinged. Like, he seems to be a guy who gets dinged up a lot. So you're really going to have to hold your breath with him that he can get you through the rest of the season and not get hurt.
Right. So again, offense played well, and but now, Mark, we got to get to. It's tough. I know it's tough. It was tougher last week. I think this week's a little easier to come up with a Sunday stiff, but. You ready for that, Mark? Let's get into our Sunday
I'm
stiff.
ready.
There we go.
Chris, my Sunday stiff, it was a toss-up, Chris, because I understand. I know what you said about Jonnu Smith. I just think he stinks. I watch him, Chris. I just don't know what he's doing out there. But my Sunday stiff, Chris, this week, it's too easy to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. I don't care. I'm going to go with Isaiah Wynn again. I just think he's lost out there. I'm going to continue to beat up on him, Chris, until they remove him. I don't understand it. I don't understand why he's still on that field as a star. And I understand what you're saying, Chris. Well, they're winning. They're running the ball. Things are going well. They don't want to disrupt the rhythm of the offensive line. But Jesus Christ, Chris, I would kick him over to God, like you said, and stick Owen Wenelu out there at left tackle. And I think you'll do even better.
Yeah, Mark, listen, I agree with you. That's my Sunday stiff as well. I won't say too much more about it other than that one play. Mark, the one play that pissed me off with him, among, well, others, but he had a guy lined up to his left, and then he had a safety corner coming that was going to come off the blitz, right? Yep. And that guy that was lined up against him slanted across his face on purpose to free up the guy coming off the edge, right? And so what is Wynn supposed to do? He's supposed to pass it to the guard.
Chris,
He's supposed to pass it to the guard and get his fat ass out there and take care, at least chip on the speedy guy. So what did he do? He went inside, and Mac Jones got killed. And that's what I was wanting to bring up. That's it. But he's my Sunday stiff as well. For me, my Sunday seat is Van Noy. Two sacks, one interception for a touchdown. My son, yeah. Nothing else needs to be said. You?
No, you're right. And I could have went with Van Noy, but I knew you want to go with Van Noy. I'm going to give some love, Chris, to the guy that hasn't been getting any love, and he should be, is Gottschall, the defensive tackle, Chris. I know everyone's talking about Bondmore, but if you watch Gottschall, Chris, he's really playing well in the trenches, and he's really stuffing the run and stuffing the gap. And no one, he's not being talked about anywhere near as much as he should be, Chris. The kid's playing consistent football every single week. So I'm going to call him out this week, and I'd like to have him on the seat.
So Sunday stiff and seat presented by Corso Law Group as well as Mac-Mania, presented by Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. When we come back, Mark, we want to break down, where are they? Where are they now? Where are they headed? Want to get into some of what Al had to say right after this.
It's that time again for a timeout for a message from one of our sponsors. No one ever thinks they will be in the need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people all across this great country who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. So whether it's a traffic ticket or if you need reduced DUI or more serious issues, call or go online to CorsoLawGroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys who I know will help you. Corso Law Group.
So, Mark, it is a Pat's preview, because we want to talk about where they are now. And it's been the talk around. Where are they? They're 7-4. Okay. What is it? 5? What's it? 5
in a row?
road wins. 5 in a row and 5 road wins.
Yep.
Okay. So, Mark, where is this team right now in the grand scheme of the conference and the league?
Chris, listen, they're 7-4. Sunday, you got a break. You got 10 days. You're coming home. You're playing the Titans. You get to 8-4, Chris. You got a legitimate shot to win the division. Never mind playoffs. Win the division. If you win Sunday, you should be able to get into the playoffs, Chris. You're going to go 3-2 the rest of the way, and that gets you 11 wins. And by the way, I predicted 11 wins right away. But I'm not going to go there.
You're hoping Indianapolis could take care of some business in
we're
Buffalo.
Hoping. We're going to be rooting for Indy tomorrow hard. But listen, 11 wins, though, Chris, all honesty, I think gets you in. If you want to win the division, you're probably going to have to win 12. I'm thinking, which they could. They're going to have to split with Buffalo, and then you're going to have to hope somebody can get you some help. But, Chris, listen, I think they have if the defense continues to play the way they're playing, I don't see any reason why this team can't get themselves into the playoffs and at least win a game maybe surprise some people. They don't have enough weapons, Chris, to win a Super Bowl or to go to. I don't think I don't want to go that far. I'm not getting way ahead of myself like that. I think they're building a good foundation. They need some weapons on offense. But I do think, Chris, that this is a playoff team, and I think they'll scare people in the playoffs with the defense, the running game, and the fact that Jones doesn't make mistakes, Chris. You're going to have to play a good game to beat the Patriots the way they're playing right now.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, there's some things to clean up. There's some things they got to clean up big time. I mean, the tackling high, Mark, it's a league-wide issue, though, is it not? I mean, what the hell? I must be missing something because I don't understand why teams tackle so high, but that's neither here nor there right now. Yeah, Mark, I put them in there. I mean, what teams, you look at the conference right now, and you got your division, you got Titans, Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, and then New England.
Right now, we're the 5th seed.
Right. So look at the bottom. You look at those teams that are all sitting at 5-4, 5-5. Broncos. They better than the Broncos?
Yeah.
Okay. Browns. Clearly they are. Colts, which they're going to face later on.
They're going to face the Colts, so we'll see.
Raiders, I think. I don't think.
No, they're better than the Raiders. I don't even know, Chris, if the Raiders. I think the Raiders will fall right out of playoff contention.
And
I don't think the Raiders are going to the playoffs.
No, they have so much turmoil over there. I mean, and the Bengals have come back down to earth.
The Bengals came back down to earth. I don't know. Chris, I don't think the Bengals are going to make the playoffs either.
And so far, I've listed teams so far, and the Chargers they've already beaten.
And you got Pittsburgh.
And now you're talking tiebreakers. Pittsburgh. I don't think they're even. I don't think Pittsburgh's even close to as good as New England is, especially given at the quarterback spot. I'll say it at the quarterback spot. Mark, all these teams I'm talking about have.
Chris Roethlisberger is old.
Yeah,
Jesus, he looks old. He looks 100.
He can't. Remember how he used to? You'd put pressure on him, and he was just too big, too strong. You just pull guys off him.
Yeah, not anymore.
He can't. He can't move. So all these teams I'm talking about have stationary quarterbacks pretty much, which is a real problem against New England.
Yeah, Wentz don't move. You're playing Indy, Chris. Wentz don't move. Don't get me wrong. Indy's got a real good
Burrow.
defense, and Indy will get pressure on Jones just because I think they have that type of a defense, Chris.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting game. But yeah, Burrow. I mean, Burrow. Listen, I think Jones is playing better than Burrow right now. And Burrow has more weapons. I mean, he has the kid Chase, so he's got a weapon we don't have.
I don't know how many. I would ask Joe to do it, but he's got 18,000 things going on over there. I think managing the people is probably worse. But anyway, I don't know how many picks Burrow has right now, but I don't know that they've come down to earth, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I mean, they've come right back down to earth and become Cincinnati. The Browns are a mess. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think Jones, right, and when the time comes that they would have to deal with these teams, he's a better quarterback than them, in my opinion.
Defensively, Chris, our defense, if it stays healthy, is going to keep you in most games.
Right.
Because other than Kansas City, Chris, I guess Buffalo too. I'm not going to, right?
I find Buffalo's offense to be better than Kansas City's right now.
Okay, but still, but other than Buffalo and Kansas City, Chris, is there an offense in the AFC that scares you? Because there's no Henry for Tennessee. So
is he done for the year?
They don't know. They said he could come back in maybe by
but how's he going to be
in the playoffs? I don't know.
How's he going to be though?
Yeah. But so is there a team other than those two teams? And you're right. I think Buffalo's offense right now is better than Kansas City's. But other than those two offenses, Chris, does anybody scare you the way our defense is playing?
No, because Baltimore, and again, the teams I've already mentioned, those 500 teams, the quarterback that bothers you there, the offense, maybe Indianapolis. we already talked about the Chargers normally would be, but you've taken care of them.
They seem to have Hebert's number, Chris, and understand how to confuse him.
Yeah, you're right. They do. And so again, they did last year and they did it again this year.
Yeah.
So, and Baltimore, oh Christ.
And the other thing is, just chances are, if you had to play the Chargers again, Chris, they're coming out. They would have to possibly come out here in cold weather and all that stuff because we got the tiebreaker against them now. So
the Ravens.
Baltimore's an interesting team. Yeah, let's talk about Baltimore, Chris. I'm not impressed with them, but let's talk about them.
Baltimore, it's what we've said all along. But that guy can't throw. We're talking about Lamar Jackson. He can't throw to the outer edges.
He still
can't
can't
do it.
If you watch the games, Chris, and nobody wants to call him out. None of these national guys
No.
say he can't make that throw. They talk about, oh, he's an MVP candidate. But how is it possible that you're a quarterback who's supposedly an MVP, they're going to give a ton of money to? I don't know if he's gotten his extension yet. They're going to give him a ton of money.
Mark, wasn't it the game that they just played before? Didn't he throw a pick at the end in the same game where those guys, those morons were saying he's an MVP candidate?
Yeah. I mean, Chris, how is it that a guy at that level can't make that throw?
He can't even do it in the punt, pass, and kick contest that the little kids do. Or is that the other one, the Pro Bowl contest?
That was the Pro Bowl one. They had a cornerback out through. Wow, you're getting old, man. Punt, pass, and kick.
Hey, listen, you want to talk old? We're talking about this crossover shows. This is beautiful. I mean, you ever see, like, remember when, like, you got a spin-off show of another show and they bring them on? Yeah. Remember in Happy Days when they brought, like, Laverne and Shirley on one of the shows, and, like, you know, it was like
I thought you were going to talk about the crossovers between, like, Chicago Fire and Chicago PD. He's going back to Laverne and Shirley.
You know what?
There's something wrong with him.
Don't kid yourself right now. You love Happy Days. You love Fonzie. Mark's got a leather jacket out there that he puts on every once in a while and parades around the joint saying, "Hey."
There's something wrong with him, Joe. Jesus.
So yeah,
but
Mark.
Chris, in all honesty, though, you're right. Lamar Jackson, Chris. How is it that these national guys keep blowing him up? Listen, he's a running back. In playing quarterback. I mean, I don't understand. Yeah, he rushes for 120 yards every game. Okay, great. But in a big game, Chris, in a playoff game,
yeah,
they're going to take that away from him. A good team with a good defense is going to take that away from him, and they're going to say, okay, beat us, throw the ball 30 times and beat us. And he's not going to be able to do that, Chris.
No, he's not, because when it comes time, like you said.
And you're not going to tell me Chris Harbaugh doesn't realize that. I think he's a smart enough coach to realize I can't win a playoff game if he's going to throw the ball 30, 40 times.
Right. And he's known that. He's known that for a while now. He won't say it, but he knows it. I mean, he lets him call on the field when he goes for it on 4th down and all that. And tells how much trust he has in him. But he knows what he has. Why do you think he's always trying to get running backs in there and with that running game really well? And he's not going out to get that ace, right? Baltimore's not going out to get that X receiver, that boundary guy that can get that. Why? Because he can't throw that ball. No,
they weren't even interested in Beckham. Why? Because he ain't getting the ball. He's not getting the ball to Beckham.
No. So in my opinion, I think they're a better offense than them. Titans, let's see.
Listen, I can't. I know you hate Vrabel. So I know you hate Vrabel. So that's going to be a game. And by the way, I'm going to be at that game, fans. So I'll be
Mark
there.
Mark is going to be at that game. He'll be joining us periodically throughout the show. Joe will be sitting in. But yeah, Mark, let's see. I mean, the New England's offense has the potential to be better. Are they going to be better than Kansas City? No.
No.
Are they going to be better than Buffalo?
They're probably not going to be better than Buffalo either.
No. But the defense, to me, much better than Tennessee.
And I think their defense
much better
than
Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City's defense, Chris.
They're a disgrace.
I think they stink.
They're a disgrace. You know, used to love them.
Who?
You loved all those guys hauling over there, Hall and whoever the hell else they had a line. They got good linebackers, you say. You know? You say, they got good linebacker play, though. They stink.
Well, now they stink. Those guys aren't on the team anymore.
Yeah. Hey, we're only talking about 2-3 years ago. I mean, when you go all the way back to Happy Days, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that's a short period of time, Mark. You know? So,
your poor wife. My God.
But Buffalo, listen, that defense is.
That's the team, Chris. They're going to throw stuff at Jones, and they're going to come at him.
Aren't they
and
plus
I don't
like
know.
14 or something?
And Chris, I'm going to be honest with you, though. The other night, Atlanta threw a lot of blitzes at him. They brought a lot of pressure from different Pease. Dean Pease brought a lot of pressure from different locations and different spots, but yet the kid was still 22 for 26, Chris.
You know, that's the product, too, of guys knowing you. I mean, when you're playing former coaches, it happens to the Patriots. So when you play like Dean Pease and guys like that, what's the other kid that used to be in our offense, but he was the OC for Buffalo? when you play guys like that, O'Brien, Cornell, they know what to bring at you. They know how to defend because they understand the inner workings and the operation of the Patriots. So that's always tough. But yeah, Mark, I mean, but defensively, yeah, Buffalo, Buffalo's a better defense right now.
Buffalo, Chris, I think, and we've talked about this, you and I, unless something happens very strange with Kansas City and somehow they get on a roll, the team to beat is probably Buffalo in the AFC. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. We've said that. I've said that but yeah, I don't see a defense other than Buffalo, honestly, Mark, on this list, on those teams I've named 1 through 9, from the Tennessee to the Broncos. I don't see a defense on that list other than Buffalo that's better.
No, I don't either. Unless, you never know, Chris. Baltimore, sometimes they come up with these 2-3 turnover games, right? And the ball bounced, so you can never count them out. But I think Tennessee's defense is overrated.
I do too. And yeah, because I don't know that they get. You got to look at now. Look, Mark, let's temper it because San Diego, whatever, Chargers, Panthers, Jets. Was the Jets in there? Browns, Falcons.
I get it, Chris.
But they did what they were supposed to do to those teams, which is kick the crap out of them and push them down, and that's it. Never let up. So now, going forward now, Mark, where are they driving to? Because you got this next 4 games. That's the season, man.
Yeah, the next 4 of the season. It's the season, and you're going to see. You're going to see, Chris, next week. You're going to see against the Titans if they can match up.
They matched the win total last year. Total win total.
Yes, they did.
So
next
far.
week, Chris is going to tell you a lot about this team.
Yeah, I mean, to me, okay. So what's the mark? What's the win total they need to have in order to get to play?
I think 11 wins. I think 10 you're on. You got a shot, but I think 11 guarantees you're in. So you got to win 4 more games, Chris, and you're in.
Well, because the other teams, if you're looking at wild card, Pittsburgh, Chargers, let's see what they do this weekend.
But I think 11 is a guarantee.
They're at least 1.5 behind them.
Yeah, 11, Chris. I think you're guaranteed to get in with 11. I don't think there's any question you get in with 11.
I mean, Jacksonville and Miami, I'm going to give them wins on those. Although, what do you say about Miami? Always,
Miami, Chris, is like that's our God. That's like our kryptonite. We go down there, it's like a shop of horrors.
They're in Denver.
They're in Denver, and no matter how bad they are, I mean, look, and Miami came up. That's the game, Chris. That Miami game. Don't get me started. We blew that game. Oh my God, you'd be sitting with 8 wins. Oh my God.
Yeah, that pisses me off, man.
Oh, does that piss me off? That game. Line. Oh my God.
Because you look at Tampa and you look at the Cowboys and you say, well, those are 2 teams that are potential Super Bowl teams over there. We're good. We feel good. Hung with those teams, right?
No, we did. We absolutely did. But listen, bottom line is this. Next Sunday, Chris is going to tell you a lot about this football team and where they are and whether or not these last 5 wins against questionable opponents, perhaps, what did that really mean? Because you're facing a team next to you figure is going to be in the playoffs and is probably going to win their division. So let's see what we do against this team. And I think that'll build you momentum because then you play, is it Monday night or Sunday night? You're playing Buffalo.
They play Miami against Monday night.
They're playing Buffalo on Monday night?
Oh, Monday night. Buffalo, yeah. I think night. So. I gotta look.
And then the good thing about our schedule, Chris, is then you get a bye week for Indy. So depending on what happens these next 2 weeks, at least you get a bye week. You get to collect yourself, reset Jones for those last few games, and you get the bye week to prepare for Indy, which is going to be a great benefit, I think, after these back-to-back games against Tennessee.
Yeah,
and Buffalo.
Because you get Tennessee 1 Eastern, and then you get Buffalo, Monday night, and then the bye. Yeah, so that's a big deal to get ready for the Colts. Mark, I think if they split, if they can win 2 out of these 4, then I think they're at 11 wins.
Yeah. Well, Chris,
the division depends on who are the 2.
If you beat Tennessee, you got to go 3-2 the rest of the way, and you're at 11.
Right, and I think that I'd love to see it be one of the Buffalo. See, you know what's funny about this team? They'll go to Buffalo and they'll win. They'll lose at home.
They'll beat us at home, yeah.
They'll beat us at home, and they'll go over there and they'll win. It's
Chris, Buffalo has a tough schedule. They're playing Indy this week, but then they're going to go to Dallas.
Yeah.
The issue is, of course.
Come on, Dak Prescott. Let's go.
But Chris, I'm going to listen. Of course, these other teams get every break there is. Amari Cooper on the COVID list. He's missing Sunday and Thursday. So he's going to miss the Buffalo game.
They're playing Thursday night?
I think it's Thursday against Dallas, Buffalo, Dallas. But of course, Amari Cooper's already listed as out because of COVID.
So they're playing before. They're playing. Mark, I have no idea what day it is.
Yeah, I can tell. No. So they play Sunday, and then they play Dallas on Thanksgiving.
Next Thursday.
Yeah,
this Thursday coming.
This Thursday coming on Thanksgiving.
Oh, Thanksgiving, right. Dallas plays on Thanksgiving, right. Dallas and Detroit. You never bet. I was sure you never bet. My father used to say, don't ever bet against Dallas and Detroit on Thanksgiving Day.
That's true.
Right? Although Detroit puts a monkey wrench in that every damn year.
Well, they got an old school black and blue division game. They got the Chicago Bears at Detroit. Yeah. An old black and blue division game.
Well, listen, Dallas, Matt Patricia, Mark. Our defense is playing so well because of Matt Patricia. Right?
No, I think Matt Patricia, I think they kind of put him to the side, Chris, because they were playing his type of style of defense earlier, and it seems like that has now changed totally. So I don't know if they did something.
So we both think that they can get to 11 wins. Mark maybe thinks 12, right?
Well, 12 could be a stretch, Chris.
That's Indy. That's Indy.
12 could be a stretch, but I think 11, Chris, is really in their sights. And if you win 11, you're in the playoffs without question.
So we'll see what happens. So that's where they are now, and that's where we think they can go. And so again, final score 25-0. They go to 7-4. And hey, Mark, we're on our way now. Corso and Catone fans, get ready. Mark, you better show up with the introduction I'm giving you right now. Okay, but Corso and Catone fans, we're going to have Catone's comments right after this.
So, Chris, listen, I have to bring this up, and I've brought this topic up before, but I have to bring it up one more time. So today, I had to take my daughter to work. She's not driving yet. She works at she sells these clothes, whatever, these dresses. She works at this boutique. So anyway.
I mean, her job.
Her job.
This wasn't daddy and daughter day at work.
No. I take her to work. She works up, she likes to get whatever. So I take her today. We're on the highway. It's a 3-4 lane highway, Chris.
Oh boy.
3-4 lane highway. The left lane. I don't understand how people don't know how to drive in the left lane. The flow of traffic, the other 3 lanes, they're blowing by them. They're moving in, out. They're slowing up the entire highway. Then somebody slides over from the left lane. And then there's another person in front of them doing the same goddamn thing. I don't understand it. How is it possible that you have a license and you don't know the rules of the road? No clue are the rules of the road. You're putting down the highway in that left lane. You're not keeping up with the flow of traffic. You're causing all kind of issues. You're going. Then when you leave the lane, the person in front of you is even more clueless than you are. And these people have licenses. You know what, Chris? I'm going to make a video. I decided that I'm going to make a video, and I'm going to send a video to every DMV in all 50 states. It's going to be, forget Catone's comments, it's going to be Catone's driving rules. And I'm going to tell them that they're going to show this video to anybody who wants to get a license at these DMVs, because nobody listens. Maybe I'll make some money, Chris, with the video.
You know,
I had to bring it up, Chris. I know I brought it up in the past, but today I snapped.
So, Mark, you're not going to give the. So, your daughter's of the age of driving, yes?
Well, she's going to permit, and she had a headache, so I drove her today.
Hold on a minute. Wait. Hold on. Wait a minute. She's got her. Hold on. She's got her driving permit, which means she's watching and trying to learn how to drive.
Yeah.
And she's doing this from you? From watching you?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen. In full disclosure, my wife took her out on the road and taught her how to drive. They would not allow. In full disclosure, they would not allow me to do it.
Well, because I'm trying to understand how it is you're driving that car while you're screaming at everybody else around you.
Full disclosure, Chris, Chris, I'm going to make the video, and I'm going to
send it. It's like a pole position video game.
Yeah, I'm going to send it to all the DMVs around the country. Catone's driving rules.
Maybe you should have a Catone's driving school.
Oh, that would be, imagine that. Yeah, that's a good idea, Chris.
The only thing is you got to, on the dashboard.
Listen, next week, Chris has to tell us, because we're running short again today.
No, it's okay. Keep going.
Chris should open up a car wash. And he's going to tell you why next week. Why he should open up a car wash.
You're going to, you know what? I was so pissed off. You want to talk about drivers. When those drivers pull in to get their car washed, yeah, I can't even right now.
Next week, I'm going to
Land Rovers, Maseratis. I got the,
Next week, I'm going to interrupt Catone's comments short because he has to tell you about the car wash.
Well, look, Mark, again, I don't think you should have a license, so that's just my opinion. Only because you're screaming and yelling at somebody. If you're going to have a driving school, then you need to have a bowl on the dashboard, stuck to the dashboard with, like, recall or throat lozenges, because if you're going to teach them how to drive like you got to teach them how to scream like you at the other people. The hand gestures.
Yeah, I'll put a bowl of Red Hots in the car.
Oh, jeez, Mark, Catone's Comments was presented by Special Sauce Podcast, Startup, Finance, and Drive Yourself to Success, specialsaucepodcast.com. So listen, when Mark, I think we've come to a close today.
Chris, I thought, listen, it went by pretty quick. I just looked up and I'm like, oh my God, we're done for the day. We had a good show, Chris. I thought, hey.
Our happy days in Laverne and Shirley show. It worked. Hey, listen,
you're going to see what he watches at night. He sends me pictures of like the Green Lantern. He's watching cartoons at like 3:00 in the morning Eastern time. He's got the Green Lantern. He's got the Flash.
Hey, listen, those if they're still on, that means that it's a quality show, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh God. So some people to thank today. First, we want to thank
Adam West.
We want to thank Joe. We want to thank all the people that help these two shows put these things together. But we also want to thank the good people at Special Sauce Podcast, Startup, Finance, and Drive Yourself to Success. SpecialSaucePodcast.com, Jag Media Productions. Want to thank the people over at Studio 42 Designs for all your graphic design needs. Studio42designs.com, and Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. CorsoLawGroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. So listen, join us next Saturday, Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel, 7 p.m. Eastern, we will be back with our full slate of features. In fact, we maybe Mark, we may be putting something in about a weekly rewind, going back through the week and talking about all the things that happened either in anything, Mark, driving, sports, shopping at Home Goods, anything's on the table at that point. And of course, Catone's comments. We will have that. And make sure you tune into the Pats Nation presented by Corso and Catone. 30 minutes following every Patriots game. And look, we'll always have our Mac-Mania. We'll have our Coach's Corner, Sunday Stiff. And we'll be previewing that Patriots-Titans game where Mark is going to be going to. And I'm sure we'll have a lot to say on that. So for Mark Catone, Joe Guarnieri, I'm Chris Corso. Final score of that game is 25-0. And we will see you next week. So long, everyone.